The backstory is, Mark Wahlberg and Steve Levinson came to me and said we want to do a show that's kind of Mark and his friends, and I kind of said I need to kind of make it my own sort of background, mixing and matching with Mark's thing. So New York was obvious for me. I don't know much about Boston, so I took lots of elements of Mark's life and lots of things that Steve incorporated into it and mixed it with my life and my friends who I grew up with. So again, that was really the hope of the show, is Hollywood was this backdrop to this group of friends that you could hopefully go along the ride with. Vinny Chase is a movie star, kind of, like Leonardo DiCaprio. He's a young guy with everything, at his fingertips, and talent and looks, and everybody loves him. Guys, want to be him. All the women in the world love him. And he's kind of the guy everyone wishes they were. So he takes his friends on and tries to give them as much of that as he can. Adrian and Vince have a similar thing. It's very ease of life, and they walk through it the way we all wish we do. He doesn't seem to get stressed out by much. I don't know what goes on when we leave at night, but he's just got a real sense of life just comes to him and glides through it, and I think that really comes out in the character. Kevin Conley's just, he is that regular guy. He's like, Kevin would have been, if we went to the same high school, he would have been my boy. He's just the guy you can count on. He's the loyal guy who will, fight to the death for you and make sure everything that you want, you get. Jerry off camera changed and completely transformed his body, and we incorporated that into it, even though it kind of, it's interesting because he grew with the show. And Jerry and Turtle kind of both matured as we went along, and Turtle's become a successful businessman, Jerry as well. So it's been interesting how many things off camera kind of, have grown onto what the show and the movie will be. Dylan's a genius, from the minute he came in on his first audition 10 years ago, I knew we had, years with this guy. I mean, his face is so expressive, his choices are so distinct, and you root for him, and he just, no matter what he says, you want him to win. So, and Kevin is able to bring that feeling to it that you really just hope everything works out for him. He's able to be an asshole and make it so likable that you want to be him, and it's amazing, when we first started, it's like, oh, are people going to tolerate this guy saying this and that? And Jeremy just brings that thing to it, that whatever he says, you like him and you think it's funny, and you know that deep down there's that heart that's looking out for everybody. So, Jeremy brings an energy that just is, you can feel it. The second he gets on the screen, it just is, it's like the screen shakes, and there's very few people who can bring that. We've got Billy Bob Thornton, who's just one of my favorite people on earth, and he's the money guy behind this movie that Vince directs that Ari is the studio head of. His son is played by Haley Joel Osment, and he's just this southern rich kid with a sense of entitlement who's just a giant pain in the ass for these guys. So, and he's just so great and so great to work with, so it's been fun. I think the audience responds to the loyalty and the brotherhood and the fact that these guys, at the end of the day, none of that stuff matters. It's all there, but I really do. I think when people really got to this show, it was not the pilot, it was the second episode when they said, if it doesn't work out, we'll go back to Queens, which I have a callback to that in the movie. But I think people relate to the fact that they know these guys are enjoying all their toys, but it's not the priority. Each other is the priority.